Welcome everybody to the great and wonderful world of chaos. This is Sins of Solar Empire Rebellion, and what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to show you a little bit of game footage, what it looks like, how you play it, um, and I'm going to talk about this game. Now, this is a strategy game, so you can't really sit there and go, oh, here's a playthrough of it. Doesn't really work that way with this. This is more of a really open-ended, play however you want style. No, you got to be careful with your playing because you can lose in this game quite quickly. In fact, now there are 4 factions. 3 are playable. There are the TEC, the Advent, and the Vasari. The 4th unplayable faction are pirates. Now, pirates, you can shoot at people. You can send them to attack people all you want. And basically, you just give them money to do it. So, I'm going to run this here. This is how many stars there are. So, think kind of like a galaxy star with planets around in the galaxy. That's how many planets. And so, yeah. You can change what your portrait looks like, which is pretty nice. I'm gonna play TEC, so I want that picture. Let's see, where was it? Yes, here we go. Victory conditions. Now, this shows you like how you can win the game, basically. Hence, victory conditions. So you've got your capital victory, your flagship, which if you lose either of these two, you lose. Diplomacy victory, as you can see on the left down there, it's telling you what you need to know. Research, occupation, and then allied. Yeah, they're pretty self-explanatory. Here's where you can change how quickly everything goes. Let's do some random events. Pirates are active. Yeah, I always leave them active. It's kind of fun watching it launching pirates at other people. So let's be about it. Okay, so here's where we go. This this shows you what the TEC stuff looks like. These are like their little unique stats. Unique stats to the TEC, unique stats to the sub faction. Okay. Here's the Advent. Again, their unique little to the Advent faction. These are the 4 unique things. These are their capital ships. Now you'll see down here, which is with the TEC as well, and the Vasari, is the Titan. Now Titan is literally the biggest ship of your faction / sub faction. Each one is different per each sub-faction. Now, there are 6 sub-factions. Each is a loyalist and a rebel to the 3 main factions. Here you're sorry, the true aliens of the game. The Advent were banished by the Traitor Coalition. The Traitor Coalition, when the Advent, not the Advent, but the Vasari showed up, became the Traitor Emergency Coalition. Now, no, it was, yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. So, you've got quite literally the ugliest guys around. These guys have no problem with slave labor. These guys are not nice people. That is the Vasari. The TEC banished the Advent because they thought they were deviants. Well, at the time, they weren't the Advent. They were the ancestors of the Advent. So, the Advent come back with the whole matriarchal society. And for those who don't know, matriarchal means it's female-run. Yeah, the females basically run the society. Uh, and it's breaking apart at the seams when they came back to fight the TEC. Um, the way the Advent work is they got this thing called the Way, which only women are the strongest in. Now there are very strong males in it, but they don't get high because there are more women stronger than them. So that's why it's a matriarchic society. Now, the Vasari were a multi-galactic empire. Problem was, something came after them, and so they ran. Well, when they ran, they ended up here. Yay! Just kidding. So, and then you have the TEC, who we've already discussed. I tend to play TEC Loyalist because this Titan right here is one of the hardest to kill due to a fact of one of its abilities causes massive hull regen and damage output gets boosted. So it literally sits there and just pumps out health. And it gets hard to fight it. And he also has unique little abilities where he can damage everything around him, making him very hard to fight. This is basically, the rebels have a siege system, which is basically them going, hey, we're just going to shoot up all your stuff and then take the system. The Advent Loyalist. This thing is similar to the TEC Rebel ship. It's got a big freaking honking laser on it that will literally blow stuff away. If you watch the intro, you will see said laser fire. Now, the Advent Rebel ship is a lot like the TEC Loyalist ship. It has the ability to regenerate its health at an extreme rate. Now, here's the difference between the two. Whereas the TEC, it's an ability. With the Advent Rebel, he's literally consuming ships smaller than it. Capital, cruiser, and frigate ships are being consumed by this thing to replenish its health. So you have to be careful with it, or else you'll find yourself without a fleet. Now, the Loyalist and the Rebel for the Vasari, they consume planets and ships. So you have to be careful. And they don't get health bonuses from it. It just goes straight to your resource bank. Now, on that note, the 3 resources in this game are, in fact, credit, metal, and crystal. Crystal is primarily used in research along with credits. And then as you get higher up in your research, you start adding metal to it. Now, metal is primarily used for shipbuilding, though crystal does come into play later on in the more advanced ships. And of course, you need credits for ships as well. Credits are always going to be your highest income. It should always be your highest income. Metal should always be a little bit higher than crystal. Now, is that always the case? No. So, here we go. I'm going to go Loyalist. Yay! Go normal difficulty. We're going to go. Give me an Advent Loyalist. No, hang on. Let me go this guy here. Yay! So, I don't play a lot. I play every so often. It's a fun game. There is no story to this, by the way. No, there's not a story to this. The story you get in the intro. You don't really play a story on this. My advice, if you're looking for a story, go to a different strategy game. Yes, there is story to this. Yes, there is stuff to it that you can find out what's going on. But it doesn't always work that way. Now, one thing I didn't talk about so far is the buildings. Yes, you do build buildings. There is one ship for all 3 factions, and the TEC and the Advent, you have to research this ship. And the Vasari, you have to research an add-on. Now, what are these ships, you ask? These ships are, in fact, the Migrator, which is for the Vasari, which is basically your frigate colony ship. And then you have two new ships you research, and they allow you to build star bases, the biggest base in game. Now, you're going, okay, why is it the biggest ship in game? Or building in game, pardon me. It is the biggest building in game for one very good reason. It is a fortification. Quite literally, in fact. It will sit there and go, ha ha ha, yeah, right. And then commence to try to kill you. It will laugh at you, then commence to try to kill you in a very, very painful fashion. Now, what is so unique about starbases that makes them so deadly? You can, in fact, upgrade these son of a guns. Yes, you upgrade them. As in, you put money, metal, and crystal into giving them better armor, better weapons, hangars, stuff like that. They come in handy when you're trying to hold a system. Another good thing about the Loyalists, you can build two of these things. Yeah. A neat thing about the Vasari Rebels is that their starbase, which, since it's Vasari, is mobile. Yeah, so the Loyalists, their fortification starbases are, in fact, mobile. They can move around the system. Well, with the Vasari Rebels, their starbases can jump systems. Yeah, fun. So yeah, they get hard to fight because they'll just sit there and spam you with starbases. Capital ships, you can level them up. Same with the Titan. They level up. They have experience modifiers, so yes, you do need to be careful with them. These things, like the Nicole class battleship, I forget what the other two are, but they're battle cruisers. Once they get pretty high level, they get kind of hard to kill unless you're swarming them. That's mostly due to the fact that as they level up, they get more armor, more damage, yada yada yada. So you want to actually be careful when you're fighting these guys. You upgrade your planets when you the whole explore thing goes to artifacts. Now artifacts give you unique boosts and abilities. You will lose this artifact if you lose the planet it is on, so you kind of want to be sure to guard them well. Here's your 4 researches, and then here's the one that everyone has. Now those emblems are different for each one, but it's basically the same. Now you're going, what do you mean? This is your fleet logistics. The higher this gets, the more there's a drain on your resource income. So you want to be very careful with this, because you can actually make yourself start losing income. So you don't really want to do a lot of this until you've got a lot of planets, so that you have the income you need to basically support it, the fleets. So yes, my ship is currently fighting. What is so unique about this ship is that it can in fact shoot 4 different ships at a time if it wanted to. It can shoot on the left, it can shoot on the right, it can shoot from the front and from the back, making it very dangerous. Now you're probably going, okay, how is that dangerous? While you're always targeting it, it's targeting multiple ships and will start killing them before you can kill it. So it will actually do a lot of damage to your surrounding fleets. Doing an upgrade. So I can get another capital ship. Capital ships are really good to use. They're really easy, really well designed. And they can do a lot of damage if used right. Now, if you bog them down, yes, they're in trouble. But you have to bog them down first, and doing that is kind of hard. So, right now my guy's doing his thing. He's using his abilities. Yeah, you can have them auto-used. As you can see, there are effects. Basically, the more damage you take, you start venting atmosphere, and your ship will start burning. Um, do these cause static effect damages? No, they're just effects. Just visual effects is all they are. So you don't really have to worry about like your ship constantly losing health because of that. Now, yes, your ship can in fact lose a lot of health due to abilities because they do damage per second. You'll have one like with mine that does 70 damage per second. The thing about it though that you don't have to really worry about too much is that it doesn't last. Yeah, the damage doesn't last. Now, unique thing you will run into is that volcanic planets and ferrous planets, if you have the expansion, will give you only metal. Now, the ice planets only give you crystal. Barren will give you more crystal than it will metal, as you can see. You'll have asteroids, which will give you resources as well, so, along with moons. And then you got the desert. But like some of the more hostile planets, ice, volcano, ferrous, greenhouse, oceanic, you gotta research them. Yeah, as you can see. Yeah, see, there's the Arctic, there's the volcano, there's the greenhouse, and then there's the ferrous. Then there's oceanic, which you can upgrade your cities on. You can do that also with ice. Yay! Then you can do it on desert and civilian as well. I think yep, that research is done. Okay, let's see here. Let's go to here. Let's go to here. What do I want that one. I want the Achenin Battle Cruiser. Now, this thing is very nice in the fact that it is a capital ship that lets you colonize other places. So, it is in fact very useful. Next thing you're going to run into is, in fact, probably one of the most annoying ships in the game. Oh, yes, it will let you know when stuff happens. I've been probably talking over that. Sorry, but I'm trying to explain. Yeah, you run into some very interesting stuff. One of them being, hey, guess what? You run into mad Visari ships, especially if you're playing Visari. I've had it happen, scared the bejesus out of me because it was a Titan, and I didn't have a Titan to fight it. That was not fun. Yeah. So, as you can see, it's researching, it's doing its thing. Your research was different for each faction. Now, you'll have certain ones that are similar or generally the same, just different named. But at the same time, there are different ones. Plasma storm heading toward an unknown planet. Okay. Yeah, if you click on it, then hit the spacebar, it will jump you if you know where it's going. You know where it is, it will jump you there. So that's useful. Oh, boo-hoo. If you can't tell, I don't really care that much. It's capital ships. The only thing I know that can hurt them isn't even in the area. Now, the Visari and the TEC have this thing called the refinery. It boosts your output of your metals. And then the trading ports that all three factions have. It also boosts your output for your credits and allows you to set up a trade line, which is really good because it really ups your credit income. Now, you're probably going, okay, so what about that? Well, here's the thing. You're literally going to run into cases where having good armor, good weapons, and a whole lot of pain is a good thing. Now, on to that armor that I was just talked about. The TEC literally have the most armor out of all the factions. Hands down, done most armor. The Advent do a little armor research, but they're focused more on the shielding. Now, the Visari are kind of an in-between on that. They're not necessarily the most armor, but they're not necessarily the most shielding. Yeah. Then you have the whole, oh, yeah, not nice things shooting at me. Woohoo. Now, your shields are unique in the fact that the more you get shot by lasers and whatnot, the higher your shield mitigation goes, which means the less damage they do to your shields. So you kind of want to be careful. Your shield mitigation is based on the faction, not the ship. So you kind of need to be careful about it. Yeah. You can also upgrade your hull so that it can repair itself quicker. That comes in handy. Very handy, in fact. You're wondering, why are you not building other ships, man? Well, Chaos, because quite simply, I only have 3 ships I can build, and I don't want to waste the resources building them at the moment, because I'm focusing more on my research and getting it set up and running and getting everything else I need, because I'm going to have to put resources in here, and I don't have the resources, because guess what? I spent them on research. So I got to go in here, buy this, buy that. Yay! Now I don't have a credit drain on me. That's good. So, looking at everything around here. Yeah, if you can actually, hang on, there we go. You can actually see how big your population is by visual cues on like the orbital elevators you see here. That are used basically as a form of transit from space to land. Yay, orbital elevators! Now, some people, I've had conversations with people about this. They sit there and say, well, why not just use a space station and just have shuttles drop and go up and down, and then if you have gravity manipulation, it completely disinvalidates them. Not true. You cannot use gravity inside a gravity well. Why? Quite simple, in fact. Gravity is basically friction. It's mass. How do I explain this? Okay, I'm going to use an analogy. Put it out a tarp, stretch it like a plastic tarp, stretch it like you're going to do a trampoline, put a bowling ball in the center, start spinning it. When the friction kicks in and you get the ripples, that's gravity. The ripples are gravity. That giant bowling ball is the sun. You're now getting an idea. So yeah, you can't really use gravity manipulation inside of a gravity well because you can actually cause a disruption in it, which in turn can cause the planet to break up, depending on how much you're using it. Now, if you're using it like for only necessary events, you don't have to worry about it too much. It's not that big of a threat. Now, if you're using it a lot, yeah, you need to worry. But that's it for this game. That's it for everything on this. If you want to check it out and check out the other factions, I'll probably be putting them back on. I'll probably do a couple episodes with the other 2 factions so you can get a look at what they are. TEC plays basically like a tank. They're brawlers. They get in your face and slug out. So that's it. That's how they play. That's what they look like. I'm not gonna. Each person has their own play style, so I'm not gonna sit there and tell you, hey, this is how you gotta play them. In my experience, though, this is how they play. So I will see y'all later. Take care, and come back to the mighty world of chaos, cause it gets lonely out here. Later.